Hello there and welcome back to my channel. This is What If Deku Was Spider-Man Part 4. Now I'm gonna switch out my schedule a little bit. I'm only gonna do one video a day. It's gonna be a long video, about 20 to 35 minutes. So I think we last left off. They just did the heroes versus villains. Now let's skip 2 weeks. The students were in class and Mr. Aizawa got in class and said, "Today we're going to the USJ. Wear your hero costumes and go outside." Now, one day we're in the bus. Everyone was talking about their quirks, and also we asked Izuku what's his quirk. And and one thing that Midnight is there too, and she looked at Izuku too. Izuku said, "My quirk is called bioelectricity. I can generate bioelectricity to my whole body." And as we said, that's a pretty strong quirk. It is probably stronger than Bakugo's. And Bakugo got mad and Spark started appearing in his hand. Now, when they got to the USJ, they were met by the Hero 13, and she explained the same thing as in canon, that quirks are dangerous. And Kirishima said, "Wow, they even got fake villains." And everybody looked and saw a portal opening and saw plenty hundreds of villains coming out. Now Izuku sneaked out, and Midnight saw him, and she nodded and said for the nodded and told Aizawa that she and 13 would protect the students and for him to go and charge. And before Aizawa could do that, um, the ceiling broke and they saw Spider-Man come in. Everyone was pretty shocked, and they said, "Whoa!" And Spider-Man said, "Whoa, looks like you need the help from your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man." And Aizawa asked, "How did you know that they were going to attack?" And Spider-Man said, "I have my sources." And Spider-Man asked Aizawa if they could team. Aizawa begrudgingly nodded, and they started facing off the villains. Now, uh, Shigaraki had to call the normal earlier because it was like triple the speed that they did from canon. Now, Shigaraki ordered Nomu to attack Aizawa. Aizawa got pretty beaten, but before the Nomu could break his head, could kill him, Izuku came in and kicked him in the face. Now, it was a pretty strong kick. And then, when the Nomu turned around to see who kicked him, he saw nothing because Izuku turned invisible. And then he felt another kick, no, a punch in his gut. And remember, I'm gonna say that Izuku's strength is equivalent of 25% of One for All, just because. Now nobody knew what's going on until they saw Spider-Man going visible. Anyways, because I'll detail the fight. Anyway, Deku shot two webs at the normal feet. It weren't normal webs, it were enhanced webs. And the normal couldn't get out, and then Spider-Man started punching him, giving him a barrage of punches and kicks, but they were doing nothing. Then Izuku decided to find a weak point, and he saw the brain. The brain was exposed, and he said, "What stupid thing would expose its brain?" And then Shigura said, "Ha ha ha ha. You can't beat the Nomu. It was created to beat All Might." And then Shigaraki explained that he has shock absorption, super strength, and super regeneration. And then Izuku decided to think because he doesn't want to show that he was Izuku by not showing that he has bioelectricity. He decided to go invisible and jump up in the air and charge his fist with as much bioelectricity as possible and punch the Nomu directly in the brain. Punch the Nomu directly in the brain, which nobody saw because he was invisible. And then the Nomu suddenly fell, and they saw, and then Deku went invisible, and they saw Spider-Man on the Nomu. Then Aizawa asked, because he wasn't that hurt. Aizawa asked, "How did you beat him?" And then Deku said, "A magic trick." And then the doors busted open and they saw All Might. Now, let me explain something. The heroes actually hate Spider-Man because he's stealing their fame. Fake heroes. He's stealing their fame. Besides, and All Might is mad at him because he's using his quirk without license. He's not mad at him because of you know what? I'm gonna make Omar a dick. So he's mad too because he's stealing his money. And then he saw that the villains were all knocked out, but he decided to attack Spider-Man. And then at midnight, not midnight. He charged at Spider-Man, but Spider-Man dodged him and shot a whip in his face and said, "Whoa! I save your students, and this is what I get." Omar said, "You vigilante, you're not allowed to use your quirk outside. You're not allowed to use your quirk. You don't have a license." And Spider-Man said, "It doesn't matter if you save people." And Omar said, "You're right, but it's still against the law." And Omar broke the web and charged a 50% smash at Deku, but Spider-Man just went invisible. Uh, then and then midnight said, "Oh my, stop! He saved us." And Aizawa backed her off by saying, "Yeah, just just stop attacking him." And then Deku went visible and said, "Good call. Now see ya." And he jumped up in the air and from the hole that he created in the beginning. And then Izuku came out of the corner of the USJ, came in the corner of the USJ, and uh, uh, was walked upstairs. And I saw him and winked at him. And now the police arrived and the heroes arrived and arrested every villain. Now we skip. Uh, they gave him 2 week break, so we skip 2 weeks. Skip 2 weeks. Everyone was in class, and then Aizawa said, "Today you're gonna have the sports festival. Wear your PA clothes and go to the bus." I think I killed off Aunt May. Yeah, I killed her. I killed her off. Sorry, guys. Anyways, they all wore their PE clothes and went outside. If you remember from, I think it was the first video, Deku doesn't look like the normal Deku that you all know. And you Asa called if you forget. Deku looks like this. He looks like this. And a reminder, I don't own none of these pictures, so please don't copyright me. Anyways, okay, let's continue. No, they arrived at the stadium and they were waiting in the locker rooms. And then Todoroki came up to Deku and declared war at him, just like in canon. He didn't declare war on Bakugo because he didn't use one for all. Now I don't think no, Bakugo doesn't know deku. Uh okay. Now Midnight called class 1H to come out, and everyone was laughing at Midnight because she was wearing, and then they felt a lot of bloodlust. And when they looked down, they saw Izuku looking at them, and they all shut up, shut up, yeah. And then Midnight said, "Okay, now we're gonna let's spin the wheel." This Midnight spun the wheel, and it was the cavalry battles. Not cavalry battle, a race. Sorry, a race. Then she said for everyone to line up, and Person Mike said, counting down to 3, 2, 1, and when he said go, Todoroki froze everybody, and not just like in canon. But this time, Izuku jumped. The important people jumped and dodged it. But the important when everybody ran, Izuku was the only one besides the one who were stuck. Only one standing, still in the start. And then he charged up his body with bioelectricity and started running. He passed everybody because if you didn't know, if you charge up your body with bioelectricity from what I know from the games, you get pretty fast. And he when he arrived to the 0 point, he just dodged them, and when he arrived to the canyon, he just jumped from rock to rock. And when he arrived to the mines, he just charged up his leg with as much bioelectricity as he can and just jumped all over him, and got first place. Second place was Todoroki. No, second place was Bakugo. Third place was Todoroki. Now, the second activity was cavalry battle, and it's gonna be. I'm gonna switch it up a little bit. It's gonna be Deku, Hatsume, Tokuyami, and this time it's gonna be who should it be? I don't want Uruk to pass because I hate her. Let's say Kendo. No, not Kendo. She's class 1B. Let's say Duplo Arms. I don't know what his name is. Choji. No, Koji. I'll just gotta say Duplo Arms. Um, Deku was on the top. Hatsuma was in the left back, and Tokiyama was at the left right, and Double Arms guy was on the horse. I guess I don't like this part. I'm just gonna skip and say they kept their 1 million headband. Now on to the 1v1s. It's gonna be Shinso versus Deku. Now this time, Ojiro didn't warn Deku about Shinso's quirk. When Deku got to the ring, Shinso started bad mouthing him. His spidey sense tingled and told him not to talk. And he was confused, but just followed what his spidey sense told him because they were never wrong. And he just walked up to Shinso and just charged up his hand with bioelectricity and just backslapped him, knocking him out of the ring. Now, the second round was, of course, Deku versus Todoroki. This time, the Todoroki didn't pull Deku aside because his powers are similar to All Might's, not in the slightest. Now, in this time, because let's say from the beginning, Deku said that Todoroki should use his full power, but Todoroki said no, and then Izuku asked him why, and Todoroki said, "It's my old man," and Deku asked him, "That's no reason for you for not to use your power," and Todoroki said, "You know nothing," and Izuku said, "I know enough to know that it's your quirk, not his." And then that's where you see the character development of Todoroki, and he started using his fire. But before he could fully use it, Deku just appeared in front of him and just punched him in the gut, knocking him out. Knocking him out of the ring. And the third match is Deku versus Ida. I don't know what most people skip this fight. I don't know why, but most people skip this fight. Anyways, because I don't wanna waste my time. Um, uh, Deku just charged up his legs with bioelectricity and blitzed Ida, kicking him in the face, breaking his nose, and knocking him out. Now to the main event: Deku versus Bakugo. Now, they both got to the ring, and Midnight said start, and uh, I probably said when Deku was in middle school, he was still with Bakugo. So Bakugo, and when Deku was in middle school, he looked like normal. But after his aunt died, and his aunt died, he switched. He he looked like the picture I gave you. Anyways, and Bakugo said, "What happened to you, Deku?" And Izuku said, "Who's Deku? I don't remember hearing that name." And Bakugo said, "Stop playing with me. You know who you are, a quirkless loser." And and Izuku released a little bit of bloodlust and said, "Call me Deku again. I'll break your hand." And Baku started laughing and said, "You can't even touch me." And Deku just charged up his full body by electricity. He kind of looked like what he looked like when he used 100% of One for All versus Overhaul. But except that the green aura, it was yellow. And his air was up in the air. And Bakugo was pretty scared. And Izuku just blitzed him, punched him in the gut. Then, for Bakugo to fly out of the ring, Deku grabbed him from his leg and slammed him down on the ground, and charged up and then lifted him up by his hair and charged up his arm with as much bioelectricity as he can and punched him so hard that he went through the wall to a locker room. A locker room, let's make it funny, a locker room of the girls. And there were girls there. And they all start screaming. Anyways, President Mai declared Deku the winner of the sports festival. Uh, Deku got first place, second place was Bakugo, third place was Tokiyomi and Ida, but the same day happened. Anyways, when All Might tried to put the gold medal on Deku just grabbed it and said, "I don't need it. I don't need you to give it to me. I know I'm the winner." And All Might was pretty confused why, because he didn't recognize Izuku. And Izuku said, "You don't remember me? I'm the I'm the kid that you told I can't be a hero because I'm quirkless." And All Might remembered and said, "But how do you have a quirk now?" And Deku by answered him with, "My mom died and my uncle died. Because of that, my quirk activated and pure emotions." And all might believe that because most of the, like, let's say 60% of the times quirks activate through emotions. Okay, and this we're gonna end off the video. Thank you guys so much for watching my video. This is the longest video ever done. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. See you next time. Peace.